Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a controversial bill called AB 495. And a lot of his critics are outraged about this because it is a direct assault on parental rights. It is being called a legalized kidnapping bill. And we're going to get into the back and forth about this scary piece of legislation. But before we do, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Well, last Friday, the California Senate and Assembly approved AB 495 along strict party lines, with all Democrats in support and all Republicans in opposition. Now, supporters framed AB 495 as compassionate legislation designed to help immigrant families prepare for emergencies. They insisted that this simply ensures continuity for children when parents are detained or deported. While these claims gloss over the bill's dangerous defects, Senator Rosalia Ochoa-Bao, who is the first Republican Latina, made a point on the Senate floor when she said the affidavit process has exposed the massive safety risk our current caregiver authorization affidavit process poses. She pointed out that someone could make important decisions for a child by simply filling out an 8-question form that is not required to be notarized and checking a box to indicate that they are relative, presenting a form of ID that is never verified for authenticity. So let's go to see what she had to say on the floor.
We had a very close eye at this particular bill, and I do rise in opposition to Assembly Bill 495 for the following reasons. And though I appreciate the author's work on these most recent amendments, I still believe that the bill still misses the mark when it comes to protecting California's children. In conversations with my constituents, I learned that many of them weren't aware of the caregiver authorization affidavit process until they heard about AB 495. This bill, in its amended form, has brought forth a magnifying glass to the existing law and exposed the massive safety risk our current caregiver authorization affidavit process poses. To be clear, I'm absolutely in alignment with the author's desire to ensure that all families have a plan for unexpected circumstances and that a reliable and trusted relative can step in to care for a child in that instance. But I speak from a perspective of a mother, a former educator, and school board member when I say that the amendments to this bill still do not adequately address the lack of accountability in existing law when it comes to verifying the identity or suitability of a potential caregiver. It seems unbelievable that an individual could assume care of a child and make medical decisions for them without parents' consent. And all it takes is simply filling out an 8-question form that is not required to be notarized, checking a box to indicate that they are a relative, and presenting a form of ID that is never verified for authenticity. And in the case of using a Social Security or Medi-Cal card, could be an ID without a photo. And yet, even in its amended form, this bill still allows just that. I will not be supporting this bill today because I believe that if we're going to update existing law at all, we should be strengthening accountability for caregivers, enhancing oversight of this process with thorough identity verification measures, and creating a system that puts the safety of our children above all else. So with that, I respectfully ask for a no vote.
Well, there are a lot of parents' rights groups that are rightly concerned about this legislation. They argue that AB 495 represents a direct violation of God-given parental rights. Parents, not bureaucrats, and not schools, and not loosely defined relatives, are the ones entrusted to protect and raise their children. And this bill, according to these advocates, threatens that sacred bond by allowing other people to step into a parental role without genuine safeguards. So, weigh in with your thoughts about this. Why is California continuing to assault parents' rights? Why is California Governor Gavin Newsom attacking this fundamental and sacred bond between parents and children? We always appreciate hearing from you at Explain America.